Tell Me Everything with John Fugelsang.
Keith, this is good news, though. I think this is very good news. I want to now temper it by talking about a bit of upsetting news. THEA HARPER is going to join us for this one because, let's be honest, at this point, there is so much malfeasance and criminality and hypocrisy and rank fuckery in policing and how certain cops are treated after shootings of unarmed black men. And for every Derek Chauvin who actually gets a conviction, there is a Derek Chauvin lawyer saying that a jury was tampered with and that conviction must be thrown out. And so I was all set to come here and shout about the Chauvin lawyer, but then Thea told me what's happened in Atlanta with the cop who's facing a murder charge for fatally shooting Rayshard Brooks. THEA HARPER, our associate producer, is always here to class up the joint. Thea, are you there?
Hey, John. Hey, Keith.
Hey,
Miss Thea.
Thank you for joining us. So please explain this to me because I thought this was open and shut. And we were going to wait for a trial. I thought this guy was fired and that he was indicted. What's going on?
Yes, so it was reported today that the police officer, Garrett Rolfe, that was fired for killing Rayshard Brooks, has been reinstated by the Atlanta Civil Service Board. And just like for those who don't remember this story, last June, Garrett Rolfe and another officer was responding to a complaint about Rayshard, who was asleep in a car in the drive-thru of a Wendy's.
This is the one that was 1 month after George Floyd, Thea, right? This is like 1 month after George Floyd this happened, and we couldn't believe it was happening again already?
Right.
Right.
And when officers tried to take him into custody, he resisted and reportedly stole one of their tasers. As he was running away, he was shot in the back. And the reason the officer is being reinstated is because the police department made several errors in the dismissal paperwork and did not give the officer his adequate time to respond.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Due to the city's failure to comply with several provisions of the Atlanta City Code, information received during witnesses' testimony. Now, where on his body was Rayshard Brooks fatally shot, Thea?
He was shot in the back.
As he ran away.
Oh, my God.
And, something that, really bothered me was that in a statement, Rolfe's attorney said, we're very excited that the civil board says that due process matters. Well, due process only seems to apply to some people and not to others. Where was Rayshard's due process?
Thank you. Brilliant.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
And, I've also, we really haven't, this was like the first time hearing about this case in a while, and I just think, I was really upset to hear about this news, about him being reinstated. And I think that there are too many loopholes for cops for this decision to be made without taking into account what he was fired for, what he was being charged for, just shows how broken the system really is. When matters like this go unchecked, it sends a message that it's okay for officers to kill black people because they won't be held accountable. And you'll even maybe get your job back over technicalities.
I mean, now keep in mind, this guy was fired the day after he shot this man in the back. And this is when the whole world is watching America in just less than a month after George Floyd. And he's been charged with 11 counts. He's been charged with felony murder. He's charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He was charged less than a week after Rayshard Brooks's death. And again, shot the man in the back as he was running away. Shot him in the back.
Wow.
He wasn't a threat to anybody. Shot him in the back as he was running away. And my understanding is that this review, they are agreeing that he violated Atlanta's terms. He violated the rules, that his conduct was not appropriate in policing, but they just don't seem to care. I mean, I want to get the exact language here. I want to get the exact language because I'm kind of shocked. Again, spoiler alert for those just joining us, the cop's white, and I want to get the exact words they used. The review board determined that Rolfe's firing did not follow Atlanta code, but it did not make a determination about whether his actions violated police policy. So, in other words, shooting a man running away in the back, we can't make a decision on that. But you didn't dot all the I's and all the T's, and you're supposed to give an employee 10 days before you fire him. So
right.
He gets to be a cop again.
There's so many jobs where, people get fired and they don't get reinstated over technicalities. This police officer shot a man in the back while he was fleeing, and this officer gets his job back. Let that sink in. He's going to remain a cop while he awaits trial for murder.
Now, here's the deal. He
You know
can't
what?
actually.
And this just makes me. I'm sorry. I was just saying, this just makes me hope and pray and really, really focus that whatever dream team that they can come up with that's going to go after that man on the stand, because I guess it would be the prosecution that would have to deal with him. I want them to eviscerate him. I want them to eviscerate him so badly that he's not recognizable on the stand, and then when they take him to jail, I want them to do whatever it is that they need to do to him, because you know what? I'm tired of it.
You make a lot of good points. He could have, this guy, and it's worse for the cop, by the way, I think, because he could have just stayed underground, pled this thing out, gone away for a few, but now the eyes of the world will be on him. He cannot actually go back on the job because his bond prevents him from being allowed to possess a firearm. Yeah. He can't be around other officers. So he's essentially going to be on administrative leave until we know the outcome of the charges. What I'm curious about is, are the taxpayers paying for this guy to sit around and be on it? Is he getting paid to sit around and await trial for murder for shooting a man in the back? That's what I want to find out. But he's essentially, he gets to be on leave and just, the job is his if he's cleared.
Yeah, horrible.
Well, see, but here's where the hubris of that human being is going to catch up to him. Because I am sure that this is their way of him at least making some money while this goes on. He's not going to suffer the consequences as other people have. He's not behind bars waiting for a trial. So they're going to milk this for whatever it's worth and morally forget what it is that they've been doing. And so they are going to have to pay for that somehow. There's just,
Rayshard Brooks will be put on trial. He'll be put on trial. And again,
we're going to all be watching that one too.
But the dead man will be put on trial, as we saw with George Floyd. But as Thea pointed out, this cop has gotten more justice than the family of Rayshard Brooks. Yeah,
we have this moment of this fabulousness of looking at this Derek Chauvin thing as, oh, look, we finally have this moment. Within hours, they killed Makia. Within, hours of all of that, folks are still getting shot in the day. And then you come back to this, you full circle this moment, and this is what we're left with. We're going back to the very same thing that we will all have to do. So we're all going to have to go back to being conservative black folks until, we figure out what to do with these police officers. Because if not, they're going to shoot us and kill us again. For no reason.
It's so hard.
And we're going to be going back and forth with this whole trial foolishness and watching them walk away again. And it's like, it has to stop. It just has to stop.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the solution is, because, like I said, my thought process is very, very old school, almost Renaissance era. Like, let's just off with the heads with a lot of these people, because I'm tired of hearing them talk. I'm tired of watching them be able to walk through the life and walk through whatever issues that they're putting us through because they are free to just walk that way. I'm getting tired of it. And again, I can't do the things that I'm thinking because I will end up in jail. However, I don't see really what other solutions are we going to have unless people are going to be able to full-on reprimand folks. And until they do it, we're still talking about Donald Trump.
And can I just tell you this? This is coming the same day that the attorney for Derek Chauvin, convicted of murdering George Floyd because he's a murderer, is asking for a new trial on multiple grounds, including jury misconduct. I mean, Thea, I guess I believe it. Eric Nelson filed a motion claiming that the Hennepin County District Court had abused its discretion by failing to agree for requests for a change of venue and to sequester the jury. The stuff the judge said no to back then, he's saying, well, the judge said no to me, so throw the whole thing out. But then they found out that because one of the jurors who convicted him went to an event last August that commemorated the March on Washington, that the whole conviction should be thrown out.
I didn't think that they were just going to accept the verdict and just wait for
no.
I'm not surprised. All we could do is hope that, Chauvin will be held accountable.
Right on. Thea, thank you so much for bringing this story up tonight. I really appreciate it. I always count on you to bring us the most underreported injustice stories that the media is just too busy to cover. I really appreciate it. Thank you. The fabulous Thea Harper, people of Earth, bow down to the Queen.
You're here.